Today I'm going to be talking about Skinner's theory of operant conditioning. In the clip from The Big Bang Theory, we see Sheldon's girlfriend Amy working on trying to recondition Sheldon's brain to be able to deal with his closure issues. Amy focuses on the negative aspect of operant conditioning, also known as punishment, to promote behavior change in Sheldon. Amy performs several behavioral reinforcement activities with Sheldon, and while he becomes frustrated and goes along with the trials, the overall behavioral modification technique doesn't work because Sheldon relapses into his previous pattern of behavior as soon as Amy leaves the apartment. It seems to me that one of the major issues with negative reinforcement is it's difficult to maintain continuity of the reinforcement behavior. And if Amy were able to constantly watch Sheldon and make sure he was performing to her standard, she wouldn't have any time to do anything else. So this negative punishment method is not a efficient way of behavior modification. I think in this situation, if Sheldon were to gradually try to change his behavior through positive reinforcement or reward, he would be much more successful. I personally have had experience with both positive and negative reinforcement in my learning process over the years. One example which I would point to as a positive reinforcement technique which has worked for me is related to my exercise routine. I find that every time I get a little bit better at whatever exercise I'm doing, it makes me want to continue to keep doing it. So I think that's a positive reinforcement behavior that I've learned over the years. A personal example of negative reinforcement that I've experienced has to do with physical activity as well. In sports, when coaches were upset with either a result or a behavior or pattern of behavior that they saw in their players, they tended to make the whole team run sprints. This type of punishment may or may not have been an effective means of behavior modification. I can't remember if the games or behaviors that were trying to be enforced actually changed or improved, but I certainly remember the negative feeling of being punished and having to do those wind sprints. Based on these two examples, I would definitely choose positive reinforcement as a means of behavior modification if I were to be in a position of trying to help someone to change their behavior or improve their lives through this type of psychological treatment.